Hello, Bad Life Shredders. It is Louise and Bertie, and we are going to take you through a nice cool down stretch. So this is what I do on a daily basis. So once you kind of get the flow of the moves and you understand, so maybe the second or third time you watch this when you're cooling down, you can mute me. That's okay. Just glance to kind of see what we're doing and turn on your favorite show, or just take some deep breaths and, like, if you want quiet, light some candles, whatever you want to do. But this is something that's going to work your flexibility, your stability, and really just overall wrapping up your workout. I think it's really important to do that as opposed to just stopping being like, yes, I'm good, right? To avoid injury, but also to help you kind of center and calm yourself after putting your body through what we just did with like a HIIT workout or Tabata, whatever it is you're working. So we'll start with some stretches. There's some yoga-esque things. There's some just regular stretches that you'll see, but this is again what I do on the daily. So we'll do some standing, we'll do some sitting, and then finally we'll do some where we're lying down. So this is even something good that you could do at the end of the day if you want to help calm down a little bit to help you sleep. For me, sometimes my brain it goes and goes and I need to calm it, so this would also be good to like finish laying down in bed and just go to sleep. So it's up to you. Okay, so our first thing we're going to do is just try to start moving your feet back and forth, especially like right after a workout, guys. You want to not stop. You don't want to stop completely moving, right? You want to slowly cool it down. Start giving me some in and out. Some deep breaths. And find your own breathing with this. Don't feel like you necessarily have to breathe.
This is my weakness, so you should feel better about yourself right now. That's why Louise is here, so you might see me like offbeat or
it's
like
okay. And that's the beauty of it, guys. Honestly, like I am, as a human being, incredibly uncoordinated. Incredibly. But Bertie over the years has taught me to be more coordinated, believe it or not. So right now we're just swinging our arms back and forth. Get a different arm on top every time, and at the back, we'll go sideways. Think about actually, almost if you can, like touch your hands back there. You're getting a really good chest stretch. And your arms, your shoulders, which depending on your workout, you probably worked really hard, so you want a good loving stretch. So catch one of those arms, pull across. Make sure you're not actually yanking on your elbow. You don't want to put extra pressure on a joint. And kind of pull across your chest. I like to get a little neck stretch and look over the shoulder that I'm working. And really, guys, stretching helps you help your body be ready for those intense workouts you're going to go through. It's thanking your body for being able to do it, for one. Let's hit those triceps. You're going to throw an arm back. Again, don't grab onto your elbow exactly, kind of the meatier part of your arm. And then you're going to pat yourself in the back there. Good job, Steph. Good job. But in order to be able to do those intense workouts that are HIIT cardio based, the high intensity interval training, or even just, the sustained cardio, like you need to have stretched your muscles, worked your muscles so that they will be able to work for you. And you'll be able to get deeper into those lunges and those squats if you've worked your flexibility because your muscles are able to do it. Good. So clasp your hands and you're going to kind of put them behind your head and try to flay your elbows out slightly and kind of grip onto your own fingers. You should feel that across your chest, upper back. Good. And release. So this next one, you're going to inhale up and act like there's something just out of your reach that you're trying to reach. Kind of go on a tiptoe, go side to side, and then act as if you're grabbing a bar above your head and you're going to pull back down so that your shoulder blades almost touch. And then you're going to exhale forward, roll your shoulders, and push your chest toward your back. Let's do that one more time. Reach up. Feel that full body stretch. Grab that invisible bar. Your shoulder blades almost touch it. My shoulders pop, push forward. Every time I do that, but because there's no pain associated with it, it's okay. I'm not hurting myself. All right, now we're gonna do some alternating arm swings. So just try to, like you're swimming. Really, really big range of motion, working that whole shoulder socket. You did anything plank related, switch to the other way, backstroke. This should feel really good. And it's okay if your range of motion is not as big or as large or as wide as someone else's. It's okay.
That's why you stretch.
Exactly. Work where you feel that your flexibility will come. Good, good, good. Okay, so at any point where if anything feels tight, like my hands right then just felt kind of tight, so I wanted to shake them out, do that. It's okay to kind of add your own freestyle thing. If something feels extra tight and you want to take an extra second there and I've already moved on, just pause it or sit there for an extra second and then hop back in whenever you can, okay? So next, I want you to keep your feet really close together like you're about to do a ski squat, and I want you to bend over like you're gonna bow. So don't actually round your back. And this should feel, don't bend your legs either. It should feel really good on the backs of your legs and your booty. So if you've done any deadlifts recently, this should feel really nice. And then go ahead and round forward, reach down toward the ground. Let your head hang loose. Don't hold any tension there. You never want to tense up part of your body while you're stretching another part. And it's okay if you can't actually reach the floor or your toes or anywhere. Just stretch to where you feel it, and more flexibility will come. Slowly roll up. Just let your head hang there. It's like you're stacking your vertebrae on top of each other. And so last thing, come up. Good. Now we're gonna get some really big shoulder rolls in there. So maybe not over exaggerating it, and like your shoulders are coming up toward your ears. Get a couple big ones forward, and then switch. Do a couple backward.
I feel funny.
And really like, well, I'm sure watching this back, I'll be like, oh, I look silly when I stretch, but it feels so good. So let yourself feel silly. It's okay. Oh, okay, good. So now we're gonna get some torso stretches. So just keep your hands out in front of you. Try to keep your hips stationary and just twist to the side. If you've done anything oblique-wise, if you've worked Russian twists, whatever you may have done, this should feel out. Bertie's leg popped. So again, like, did that hurt?
No.
No, okay, so she's okay. And sometimes, honestly, like I sound like, I've said this before, a bowl of Rice Krispies and snap, crackle, and pop and all. But it's okay. Good, okay, so now this one works stability. So it's a high chest knee pull. You're not gonna pull on your knee. You're gonna pull more on toward your shin. And just pull that up as high as you can. It's working. Stretch out those. And you're gonna notice some sides, like, sometimes one side is way less flexible than the other and you cannot get it on the side. That's okay. And also, if balancing on one foot is difficult for you, go up to a wall and you just hang on the wall. That helps those hip flexors as well. Now we're gonna get the quads. Grab that foot behind you. Pull it up towards your booty. Again, if this is difficult and you feel like, oh, I'm working more than stretching, you can go to a wall and lean on it, but do your best to try to stabilize yourself. That's part of it. And if you're not feeling this stretch by just doing this, you can always think of actively pushing your hips forward, and you should feel that more on the front of your quad there. Switch. You want to think about mindful breathing. You want to think about taking some deep breaths because you're still, in a different way, working your muscles. So you want to oxygenate them so that they'll continue to stretch for you and do what you need them to do. Ooh. Okay, so this one actually is kind of difficult. So if you have a wall and you want to hang on to it, that's okay. So you're going to take one leg, cross it over. Your ankle is just past your thigh, and you're going to lower yourself into it as best you can. Let your arms help you. If it does help to kind of center yourself, you can hold your hands here. But you should feel this all along your back of your leg, into the side of your leg, and your booty. Switch. And gently lower yourself into it. This is difficult. This is kind of advanced. So if you cannot hold yourself here, that's okay. You can always go lean up on the wall and still you'll get a good stretch, I promise.
You can also do this laying down.
Yes.
If you need to. Just like modification.
Right, definitely. And I'll show you that actually later. We'll do the laying down deep boot stretch as well. So hopefully, yes, you can see our feet. So if to kind of get into place, especially after that, I want you to flex one of your feet and like think about just pushing the top of your foot down toward the ground. And then with that same arm, grab your fingers and gently pull them back toward your forearm. Should feel really good along your inside of your wrist, your forearm, a lot of people spend a lot of time at a computer all day, and so this is a nice working of your arms where a part that doesn't get stretched a lot. And then also take your thumb, gently kind of pull back. And some people, you may not be able to pull back really far, that's okay. When you feel it, you'll feel it. Your body will tell you. Good, that's great, thanks. Okay, switch. Just really gently, you're really, pulling's the wrong word. You're not meant to pull on your fingers. You're really holding with your other hand like a stabilizing force for those fingers, and then you're putting a little bit of pressure so you can stretch into it. And switch over to the thumb. Stretching these hands that work so well for us as we either hold weights, sit at a computer, use them all day, and at any rate, we're all on our phones or smartphones constantly. Good, release. And you're in this position for so long, like your hands cramp up. Speaking of hands, take a couple moments and just scrunch up into fists, and then really think about separating all of your fingers apart. Do it just a couple times. When I said full body stretch, I meant full body stretch with stretch and everything. Okay, really good. Nice, nice, nice. So we happen to have a wall here, so this is great. If you have a wall, try this one too. It's a really, really, really good shoulder stretch. So put the palm of your hand against the wall. You want to make sure that your hand is in line with your shoulder. And then you're going to gently turn away from your shoulder. Ooh, yep, I got a pop there. Didn't hurt, good. But push into it to where you feel it, not to where there's pain. You should never feel pain as you're stretching. You can feel your muscles talking to you because you're stretching them, but never to a point where it actually legitimately hurts. Do less.
If you don't have a wall, you can also do this one on the floor.
Yes, exactly.
And you should be on a floor.
And you should, there will be a floor. Okay, switch sides. That palm is flat on the wall, and just twist away from yourself. Okay, beautiful, slowly come out of that. Okay, so now I want you to clasp your hands up over your head, widen your stance a little bit, and kick a hip out and lean toward that hip. So you're gonna feel this all along your side that you're leaning away from. Feeling the obliques in the hip, all of that. Switch. And we're gonna stretch those calves a little bit. If you have a wall or a curb or something wherever you are and you want to put your foot up against it, then do this one. It's okay. I find that one a little boring. I don't know why. So I do this one. It makes me feel like court jester kind of a thing. I don't know. I have to think about weird stuff while I stretch. So on your heel, you're gonna flex your foot up and think about the top of your foot and your toes reaching towards your shin. And you're gonna kind of lean into that, and you don't actually have to pull on it, you can, but if you feel it just from it, like the activity of like thinking of those muscles pulling back, you should feel that all along back of your calf.
It's like a hamstring stretch too.
Yes, those hammies as well. And depending on your flexibility, sometimes I even want to touch down to the ground and really kind of lean into it. So again, when you feel it, hold there, take a couple deep breaths. Switch sides. Again, I'm near my knee, but I'm not actually putting pressure on my knee. You don't want to add extra pressure to a big joint. In those transitions, guys, don't feel like you gotta rush it up. You want to slowly, fluidly move into whatever that next thing is you're gonna do. Okay, I'm gonna angle myself a little bit so you can see. We're gonna walk down into a downward dog. So that means you're just gonna hinge at your hips. You're gonna touch down for the ground, and you're gonna gently walk your way out so that you're in this downward dog position. So Your hands are about shoulder width apart, your feet are about hip width apart, and you may not be able to get your heels down to the ground, guys. So you can even kind of pedal your feet back and forth. This will also feel good on your calves. And if you think about someone pulling you up from your hips, that's kind of where you want to be. So that'll feel good on the backs of your legs. Think about shooting your head through your shoulders. Whew. That'll get a good upper back stretch, your arms. Good. So now walk it out into a tall plank. Slowly lower yourself down. Go ahead and bend your knees. Grab onto the tops of your feet. And if you think about pushing your feet away from you, really grip onto those feet. And it's okay if you feel it just laying here, awesome. But if you want that extra stretch, pull your feet away from yourself and hang on to them.
I feel my heartbeat through my tummy.
Feel your heartbeat through your tummy. That's also a thing that happens, it's true. Good, release that. Keep your feet, the tops of your feet on the ground. We're gonna go up into a cobra, so your hands are right by your chest. And then push yourself up. Your feet lay on the ground. Take a couple of deep breaths. Make sure your shoulders aren't eking up towards your ears. Try to keep them down and low. Chest up toward the sky and take a couple deep breaths. Good. Take it back to a child's pose for a second. So that's really just leaning back, your butt on your heels. Think about pushing your shoulders toward the ground. Get good chest and shoulder stretch here. And then come back on up to all fours. And we're gonna do some cat-cow stretches. So this is gonna feel really good on your back and on your abs. So you're gonna take a deep breath in and you're gonna think about pushing your butt out. It's the only time I'm gonna tell you to push your butt out. And your chest will come up, you take a deep breath in, and then on the exhale, you're gonna push your spine all the way up, round your back. So do a couple of those. Deep breath in. And exhale, round your back. One more time. You're going to go into a pigeon pose. So take one of your legs and kind of shoot it through the opening where your arms are. Let that other leg go all the way back. If you cannot lay your leg down like this completely because your flexibility is not there yet, that's okay. Sometimes I see people just kind of leaning on it here and still supporting themselves in their arms. You're still going to feel it. And you'll get to a point where this feels really good and kind of comfortable. So just up tall, let your chest go to the sky. And you should feel it really nicely again on the outside of that leg and on that back leg that you're keeping straight and leaning toward. You're going to go down on your elbows if your flexibility allows. And here, guys, you can kind of find where you're really tight. She found it. She found it. You kind of just gently roll back and forth, and your body will tell you, just like Bertie's just did, where it's the most tight. And then you kind of want to sit into that. Take a deep breath and try to let those muscles relax and stretch and get that benefit of what you're doing. Now again, this part is a little more advanced, so if you feel good and you feel like you're getting an awesome stretch here, just stay. That's okay. If you want, go with us here. Bend that back leg up. Reach the hand as leg. Grab that toe, the top of your foot, and just stretch back toward it. You're pulling that foot towards your butt. You should feel it on the quad, the front of your thigh area here on that back leg. It's a good hip flexor stretch. It's working a lot of things. It's one of my favorites. As my husband Andrew will come home, I'm just in like a weird yoga pose on the ground. He's like, stretching, huh? I was like, always. It just like it calms me, it relaxes me, it makes my mind kind of shh. So we're gonna shoot that one leg back that we have forward. Switch sides. Sitting up tall. This one also feels really good on your back. I think the back is something, part of the body that sometimes gets ignored. Everyone expects their back just to work well because you don't actively necessarily think about working your back all the time. You should. Go ahead down on your elbows. Anytime you work your core, your obliques, front of your abs, the back is also part of your core. So that's why we do back bows and swimmers and workouts like that. Because you gotta keep your back strong. So when you stretch your back, it kind of reminds you, oh yeah, this is here too. Again, kind of rolling around. Find where it's really tight. And that back leg, reach back for it. And this part, if you're able to reach back for your foot, it should even feel nice on your chest and shoulder, the one that you're reaching back with. That kind of gets a nice stretch there too. Good, gently let that leg lower. And then just kind of swing it around into almost a butterfly pose. We just went right into that. That's what my body wanted to do, so that's where we are. So you want the soles of your feet together. And again, if you cannot pull them in crazy far, that's okay. You can leave them out slightly depending on how tight or loose your hip flexors are and will allow you to do. So pull them in as tight as you can. Kind of rest your elbows here and you can kind of lean forward slightly and you should really feel that help, that extension for your hip flexor. So for me, sometimes it feels like I'm rounding my back too much and it's not necessarily a back thing. So if you want to place your hands behind you, and it helps me to think about pushing, like not me with my hands pushing, but like they were here, but if I actively think, okay, I'm gonna let my leg muscles push my legs down toward the ground. Sometimes that works better for me. So do whatever works for you. Yeah, that's wonderful. Okay, so then shift those legs out in front of you. This one looks silly, but go along with me. Bertie's like, I'm gonna feel silly. So flex your feet back, and you're gonna do the same thing with your hands. So you're thinking about the backs of your fingers where your nails are, trying to go toward your forearm. And then do the opposite. Flex your feet and like you're on a motorcycle. Boom.
I feel it right my shin right here.
Yup. See? So we're stretching your calves. So we're just gonna go back and forth between those a few times. Stretching your calves helps. It does help your shin. It does. So if you ever are, if you're a runner, I've gotten shin splints before and they are brutal. And the more you stretch your calves, the more it helps that. But this is also a good one to actually target those muscles that run right over around your shin. Now, I'm going to do a couple of circles. So rotate your feet and your wrists. I feel like a sorcerer with this one. Go the opposite direction. This is also when my wrists tend to crack and pop a lot, but it doesn't hurt. So this will help avoid carpal tunnel, guys, because I think a lot of times people are at the computer and they're here, right? They don't ever move and stretch these muscles, right? Awesome. So now keep your back flat, up and down. And you're gonna take your hands out, and then you're gonna let yourself fold over and reach towards your toes. Again, this is where you feel that stretch in the back of your legs. Cool. If you need to reach down further, go ahead. Ooh. Try to keep your legs straight so you're really getting the benefit of the back of the leg stretch there.
Making her toss my toes. I'm like, come on, let's pull you all the way back so I can touch you.
Come on, toes. And really, I'm telling you guys, had I tried to film this for you a month or two ago, this would nope. But because I've been, practicing stretching and flexibility, like I can do this. I can reach the bottom of my feet, where that was not a thing before.
And your flexibility, you lose it faster than you lose muscle mass. So stretching, you have to do it every day.
Right. And it really, I feel better. It's always daunting when I'm like, ugh, I have to stretch now. But it feels good, and when you're done, you're like, I'm done. So kick one leg out, pull this other one in tight, and take the same hand as foot, reach down toward those toes, and kind of gently lean down into it. And if you want an extra side stretch, if you take this opposite hand, shoot it through to touch the outside of that ankle. If you can, it feels real good. Yeah, it does. And then just go down as deep as you can, wherever your flexibility allows at this point, and just breathe into it. And you'll notice the longer we hold a stretch, you'll feel your muscles give you a millimeter extra stretch into it. And try to listen to your body when that happens, because it's like, oh good, we're stretching, this feels nice. And just kind of breathe into it and go just that that smidge further, as long as it doesn't hurt. Switch legs. And inevitably, like, I feel my hip being really tight. So if that's ever the case, do yourself a solid and kind of roll around into it. Same hand as foot, reach down toward it. Shoot that other hand through for that extra side stretch. And you'll notice, guys, that one side on certain stretches is way tighter or way less flexible than the other side. But it's just, you know, it's just nature, it's your body. I'm right-handed, so a lot of times my right side is just more flexible because I utilize it more. I tend to favor it because I'm right-handed. So that's why stretching is super important, to try to make sure you're not building muscle on one side and on the other and then not stretching. Good. Okay, so now shoot them both out. Try to get up onto that sit bone and then gently lean forward. And again, this might be it. This might be where you're at, and that is absolutely fine. But when you take a couple deep breaths, you'll feel your muscles give you just a smidge more. You can kind of wiggle your toes within this, whatever you need to do to feel like you're really getting a decent stretch in. Ooh, buddy.
You can go to sleep like this.
You can take a
Super
nap
flexible.
here. Oh man, but you're gonna feel this in all the way down the backs of your legs, all the way up to your booty.
And because I know as women, we like to multitask, so you can stretch during your TV shows, you can stretch during your kids' soccer practice. Just get out on the field and stretch.
There you go. Honestly, like, I stretched in some, I feel like, strange places. We were at the car dealership, and we've been there for a couple hours. I'm like, look, I'm gonna start stretching. Bring those legs in. You may get a couple funny looks, but who cares? Or, like,
You'll never see those people again.
You'll never see them again. So take one leg, cross it over the other, and then the arm, same as that straight leg, twist, and you're kind of bracing yourself with that other arm in the back. Make sure you're not directly on your knee, right in that meatier part of your thigh, and just twist. But yeah, multitasking always makes me feel awesome. So you can, the beauty of stretching and doing these, some yoga-esque stretches along with it, you can use this as a time for like quiet meditation to just, like I said, let's calm your mind, switch sides. Or if you're really just like, I just gotta get some stretches in to make my muscles feel a little better because something's kind of achy, I feel like I worked out really hard in my lower body yesterday and I have to stretch it. That is also fine. Like, do it while you're watching TV, throw a movie on, talk to someone on the phone, like whatever you want to do. And long as you get it in.
And if you stretch before bed, you'll sleep better.
I'm telling y'all, sometimes this is like a routine. Okay, cross those legs, we're gonna work on our necks. Sometimes because I go from standing to sitting to laying down with this, you could do some of these last ones laying down in bed and then just be like, just make sure you set your alarm first for whatever you might have to do. Okay, while your legs are crossed, kind of fold forward a little bit, reverse those hips slightly differently. Do a couple, you don't really have to do more shoulder rolls, but I like to kind of think of racking my shoulders back just so I'm not, you know, posture. Stretching and flexibility, guys, it also helps with posture. So Bertie says a lot of times why we work our chest and shoulders so much, so you're not this like slouched over, because this gives the impression of like, oh, I don't want to talk to anyone, you know, like you want to be proud of what you're doing, so stretching will also help with that. Okay, so for our necks, which again, nice and neglected, just like our backs sometimes. And since we can't all afford massages every day of the week, like we'd like, you know, no personal masseurs, this will really help after maybe like a night sleeping weird. This will help that as well. So think about putting your chin toward your chest. So just let your head kind of reach down. Again, it's okay if your chin won't get there. This should be a really nice one with the back. So come back to center, and then not a lot, a little bit, look up. So you never want to put too much strain on your neck looking too far back, but this enough of that range of motion so that it feels nice. And then back towards center. And now I want you to think about your ear heading towards your shoulder. So you just try to keep straight up and down instead of leaning forward or back, but you want to think of your ear actually going towards your shoulder. So you should feel it on the opposite side of your neck. And if you want to feel more of a stretch instead of having your hand on your leg, you can put it down on the floor and think about pushing, not really pushing, but like, again, with the knees, like I showed you earlier, think about your shoulder pulling away from your neck, and you should feel that more. So guys, this will be a video you can go to whenever. You can do this if you have an extra 20-25 minutes after your workout that you just want to stretch and like calm yourself. Exercise. Or you can always do maybe a portion of it. You're like, yeah, I really want to do those standing stretches. Good, that's that first 5-10 minutes of the video. Or you can fast forward, you're like, I just want some stretches that will help me fall asleep better. Cool, fast forward to these sitting and lying down ones. Do the whole thing on mute while you listen to an audiobook. I don't know, whatever you want to do. You do you. And so especially with these neck stretches, do not whip your head any which way. It's not going to be good. Think about looking like you're about to change lanes. So look over your shoulder as far as your head will allow. So you're going to feel it in the side also, like with the ear to shoulder stretch, but you're also, it's down the back middle area of your head as well. Switch sides, change into a low right leg. Yeah, I guess you don't really look over your left shoulder to change lanes. So we did the down, we've done the side, now we're going to kind of meet in the middle. So looking down, but like toward your armpit area, for lack of a better.
Everyone's favorite little pin shot right. That's what you're gonna look for.
Guys, can I just tell you, like, everybody has that. That's not like, that's skin. That is skin, so be gentle to yourself. It's so easy to
Take ourselves apart.
It is. But it's got to be that much easier. Like, let this time, your stretch time after your workout, go ahead and gently go to the other side. Let this be a time where literally, I said this before, but like you're thanking your body for being able to do this, to like do a really solid workout, to work really hard, to push harder than you had before. Okay, go back to center, chin to chest one more time. And really, guys, exercise should be an exciting thing that's celebrating what your body is capable of doing. Like, I can do this, as opposed to punishing it for something you ate or the inability to run far enough or whatever. So be happy. Not everybody can work out like you are capable, so it's awesome to feel really strong and good about that. Now, last thing for next, we're going to do some really slow, gentle head rolls. So you're kind of just rocking from side to side. You don't have to go all the way back. Some people, that scares them to go all the way around and let their full weight of the head kind of go on their neck all the way around. But kind of scoop down. Good. Okay, now we are on to our awesome lay down stretches, which I'm pretty excited about, my favorite. Okay, so we're going to try to stay at this angle so you can see what all is happening. So first thing we're going to do is take your knees up towards your chest, kind of wrap your arms, and then I go all the way around, it's okay, you can kind of hold here. And then I just want you to think about rocking a little bit from side to side. So especially if you're, hopefully you have a mat, or like we're on carpet right now, so this should feel really good. It's like a little mini back massage. You're like rolling out some of those painful areas, those knots. If you're doing this on like hardwood or something, make sure you have squishy mats so you're not hurting your spine. Okay, now I want you to lift your legs up straight above like you're about to do a toe touch crunch. And I want you to flex your feet so that your toes are, so that the soles of your feet are facing the ceiling. Just gonna reach up toward them. So, and now go ahead and flex them the opposite way so your toes are pointed at the ceiling. Grab onto these calves and just pull gently so that your legs are still up, but you're pulling into rigid a little bit. Good. Now, if you can, this is kind of a scary one for some people. They feel like they might be kind of out of control. So maybe it's just here, right? So just widen those legs a little bit. You can brace your legs by hanging onto them with your arms. I like to, sorry, Bertie, my foot's in your face. I like to kind of like really get a nice wide stretch here. And but I like to like brace my thighs, so I kind of hold them. It's an assisted stretch, so that I'm not yanking anything, but it feels really nice. And then gently kind of bend your legs forward and do a couple like hip rolls, if you will. So like I'm gently like making my legs move with me. Whew, good. Let them go down, let your feet touch. So this is kind of more of a Pilates move, but it's so good for your back. So you're gonna take a deep breath in. I don't have to, let's pull these up a little bit. I can show you my stomach, it's okay, I don't care. I want you to think of your rib cage opening up. So hopefully you can see this. That's when you'll know you're doing it right. You can actually place your hands here and that will help. So I want you to inhale, arch your back. Your ribs should come away from your hip bones, and then push to exhale, push your lower back into the floor. So do that a couple times. Deep breath in. Try to fully exhale and really push your lower back into the mat. Strengthening those back muscles. Good stretch. One more time. Awesome. Okay, great. Now, think of putting, so we did that butterfly stretch earlier, do that but laying down. So sometimes it helps to like eke out and then one at a time kind of like lay your legs out and reach above your head. Get a full body stretch. Wherever it feels tight, sometimes you'll have to pull your arms down. Kind of like you're just waking up in the morning. Stretch all those things out. Good. Full stretch. Let those legs stretch out. Ooh, good. So while we're here, shift your weight slightly so that one leg is straight. The other leg is gonna fall over the side. So one leg is kind of bent, going over the other leg that you have straight out. And if you think about actively keeping your shoulders and your upper back on the mat or your carpet, whatever, it should feel really nice all across here. Switch sides. Come back to center. I'm going to show you that deep glute stretch that Bertie was talking about that we did standing. So I usually do both standing and lying down. I just really like it. So you cross one leg over, and then you're going to reach in for the leg that you have. So not the crossed leg, the other one. You're going to reach down, grab the back of your thigh, not your knee, and then pull the whole thing towards your chest until you feel it. And you should really feel it on the back of the leg and in the butt on the butt, like your multiple butts, the side of your butt that you're bent. So the bent leg, you should feel it there. And this one kind of allows you to get deeper into that stretch, where the standing one is also more of looking your stability and flexibility in that manner. Go ahead and switch legs. I like to really let that guy kind of stretch out a little bit before I do the other side. Grab behind that thigh, pull towards you. So as you'll find your own kind of rhythm and flow of your stretching routine, if one of these stretches that we've done here together, you're like, no, I don't really like that, I didn't really feel it. There's lots of different ways to stretch a muscle group, so you're more than welcome to do a little research there and find something that may be more comfortable on your back. Go ahead and let that release. Oh goodness, stretch that leg out. Whew. And then guys, corpse pose, which, let's be honest, is everybody's favorite pose. Literally guys, corpse pose, you lay here. And something I tell my ladies when we're stretching at boot camp, I want you to think about not yourself, not your body like lying on the ground. Think about you not having to do anything, and that like the floor, the earth is holding you, like it is holding you up. You're not laying on it. And that is kind of, for me, was just like a nice visual, like that's a nice element where I'm like, I'm fully done, I did my work, and now I just get to rest here. Even like the earth is holding me up. I'm never gonna do anything right now. So you're more than welcome to lay here as long as you want. You have earned it, you worked out, you stretched, you can go forth with your day, or like I said, go to sleep if this is it. This is your last bones work done. Or if you need to do things like we need to do things, you're gonna slowly roll yourself back up to a sitting position. Take a deep breath, especially if you feel a little lightheaded after laying down, sitting up. Take a deep breath. Make sure you drink a lot of water, even if you haven't done a huge workout before stretching. Still drink a lot of water, eat healthily, and remember that you're a badass.
Yes.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Have a great day.
Bye.